Morning, everybody, and welcome to the shir. Okay, welcome to Chassidus, the morning 15 minutes to change your life. My Ma'al Kein. Okay, now today's class we're going to start. We started yesterday a little bit of Ois Hey, and we're going to start discussing based on all the information the question. Let's see. So the question is asked. That we're asking is Haman, why did he make the girl? We just explained until now the girl is such a high level. And the girl reaches the Bala Ratzain, reaches God himself, not the Chachma, not even the Ratzain, not even our desire, our will, but us ourselves, so to speak, God himself. So what was Haman thinking to make a lottery if what a lottery achieved is the deepest levels? So then the explanation is like this. In short, we're going to explain in short, and then we're going to explain at length. The explanation in short is because when we talk about when we talk about nature, the world, how everything fits in the, so to speak, nature of the world, since on that level, what we do makes a difference. We're talking about the level of godliness as it is expressed within the world. Then what we do in the world makes a difference. So therefore, what's going to happen is the hashpa, what God is going to give, the energy that's being given from God, goes directly to the Jewish people. We get. Why? Because the fish we do Torah mitzvahs. So therefore, God says, "Hey, listen, I see you guys doing Torah mitzvahs. Beautiful. Let me give you hashpa." And that's what's being achieved when we look about the way the relationship that God is in Sedish Tashas, in nature. And even, so you're going to say, what do you mean? What about a Rasha? What a person who's doing mitzvahs? But we know the famous saying, they're full of mitzvahs like a pomegranate. Like it's a famous story that this guy came to the Rebbe from a different Chassidic group. And he asked for something. And the Rebbe said, tell me something that your Rebbe taught. The Rebbe said, my Rebbe said, how is it possible that there's a year that doesn't do any mitzvahs, but we still say Malay mitzvahs krimein? Doesn't make any sense. He doesn't have any mitzvahs. The Rebbe said, I have the same question, but opposite. How can we say there's a year that doesn't do any mitzvahs? Because we know Malay mitzvahs krimein, full of mitzvahs like a pomegranate. And instead of saying, being that every Jew, like it says, is full of mitzvahs like a pomegranate. So even a person that's not in love with tzaddik, we all have Torah mitzvahs that we fulfill. We have tzedakah, Avos Yisrael, different types of things that for sure every Yid is doing. Like it says, look down from your holy abode, min hashamayim, and bless your nation, the Jewish people. So what does that mean? That it means that in Seder Shtashlus, when the relationship between us and God is as it is in Seder Shtashlus, in nature, because on the level of Shemayim, the heavens, Shemayim hu Shamayim, it means that what does that mean? Shemayim hu Chachma, that's Chachma, which is the beginning of the Hishtashlus, beginning of nature, like we said before. Chachma is the first level. So therefore, Nishpaim HaBracha Yisrael. So when you look around and what's going on, the Jewish people have plenty of mitzvahs, plenty of reasons to get hashpa. V'kevan shegam Haman harasha yada shel achakal kichugim sheikacheg al Yisrael ein shun dimin beinoel v'in Yisrael. So Haman, very interesting. He wasn't stupid. The Rebbe is saying this such a beautiful part. He wasn't stupid. Haman said to himself, "Listen, I get it. In nature, the Jewish people are always good. They always have. When God's going to start to analyze me, Haman, the Rasha, and a Yid, the Yidden as a whole for sure are good, and I have no chance of trying to destroy the Jewish people. This is what Haman was saying. What he had realized. Because, like we said, Kol Yisrael Leim Mitzvahs Krimein. Every Jew has plenty of mitzvahs. So he knew that it's never going to stand a chance if we're talking about how God is invested within nature and he's paying attention to what's going on and everything that we do. He's going to see that there's plenty of mitzvahs by the Jewish people. And if we have plenty of mitzvahs, so then what chance do I have of destroying the Jewish people? That's why in nature, Ein Shayach Shehaman Harasha Yatzech Hashem Mishisol. So Haman, which is a Rasha, he's never going to be able to destroy the Jewish people. It doesn't make any sense, and he understands this. He knows if God's trying to analyze what's going on, God's going to look at Haman and he's going to say to himself, "This guy, he wants to destroy his people. Look at him. He's an embarrassment. That's never going to happen." So Lachain, so therefore, people who are girl. So that's how Haman makes a girl. Why? What's a girl? The cave and girl, since girl, like we said before, it's coming from a place higher than Seder Shtashalus. And at that point, our mitzvahs don't really matter anymore because God is way above and beyond that. It's the deepest of levels. And you think, I care. If I'm sitting there watching two ants closely and analyzing what they're doing, and I see one ant behaving, another ant not behaving, so then I'm going to care what's going on. But if I'm across the street and there's two ants, I don't care what's going on. And so Haman was saying, if I go to the level of a girl, which is above Sedish Tashas, above nature, way above and beyond, then it wouldn't really matter what happens. And who cares if the Jews are doing mitzvahs? The mitzvahs don't tofus makom anymore. They don't really matter. And that on that level, we go up high enough to the depth of God. We're all equal. We're equally irrelevant. Darkness is like light. Meaning on that level, it's darkness, light. It doesn't mean anything. So Haman thought, therefore he thought, if he's able to make a girl, make this lottery, that's totally above Sedish Tashlos. So he has an ability to beat the Jewish people and destroy them. And that's the end of Ois Hey. And the Chayra, seemingly it's a good svara. Just to summarize this again, it's a very interesting idea. So Rebbe is saying, after everything, why, I don't understand, why did Haman make a girl? We're talking about a girl at a high level. So the Rebbe is saying, that's exactly the point. That when it comes to Seder Shtash, when it comes to nature, when God comes and he's invested in the world, invested in everything that we do, and he's looking at us, so then everything that we do makes a big difference. And therefore, ultimately, Haman knows that he has nothing over us. At that point, he's just a bad guy, and we're just good people, and we're always doing good things. And even Yidden that aren't tzaddikim, still everyone's doing good things. And therefore, when God analyzes the situation, he has no chance of destroying the Jewish people. And he knew that. So what did he say to himself? But we go up to a highest level above the Ratzin, the Bala Ratzin, God himself. And imagine, God himself is infinitely more than us and the ants across the street. It's infinitely more distant. Not physical distance, of course, but like in comparison, in care, God is way above and beyond. It says, Hashem, when the whole world was created, nothing changed by Hashem. So it's so insignificant. And we're talking about levels even above this. So what's the difference? Who cares we did mitzvahs? Who cares about mitzvahs? Darkness is like light. What does that mean? It means it's irrelevant. All these things. Your mitzvahs don't really matter over there. Haman Arasha, who cares? None of you care. The whole thing doesn't really make a difference. So Haman says, hey, if I reach that level, so then it doesn't matter how good their mitzvahs are. It doesn't matter how bad I am. God doesn't care. And if God doesn't care, so we're good. And then we can win. Then I have a chance of making my girl and destroying the Jewish people. And you could say the question like this. On the depth of everything, you get up to God's source. Does God really care? And Haman is saying, no, he doesn't. Of course he doesn't. God is way above and beyond. It's an embarrassment to say that God really cares. You can say when God is investing in the world and he's analyzing the world and watching what you're doing, Then he cares. But in the depth of God, above and beyond all these things, he really cares. That's essentially Haman's idea. Now, of course, we know that he does care, but the question is how we're going to see it. We're going to explain it in a very beautiful way. So, okay, let's start in Ois Vav. Okay, so we can explain this idea. We can connect this thought with what it says somewhere else. But in Achashverosh, in the idea of Achashverosh, where's the source of Achashverosh? The Achashverosh who Achash Varosh. That he comes in the name. We divided Achashverosh, Achash Varosh. Chashu Milasha and Shtika. Chash is quiet. Here's the Gemara says, Gemara Chashmal. What does it mean, Chashmal? Itim Chashais, Itim Malulais. Sometimes it's silent, sometimes it's speak. Vashtika, the Chash, and the quietness of Chash is above speech. So basically, what we're saying is there's a level of God that's above all these things, and it's quiet. Adech, Mila, Besel, like it says, a word in a basket, Shtika, betray, whereas quietness is in two. You can acquire quietness, meaning being quiet is a better attribute to have. The shayrish hadibur hu b'chachma, the source of speech comes from chachma, like we talked about before. These levels in sedish tashlis. Shtika, about quiet, hu b'keser shalman michachma, it comes from keser b'kayim chachma. Razal, like it says, siag l'chachma shtika, a siag, a fence for chachma, for wisdom, is being quiet. Siag l'chachma, siag b'lashen gedo makif, a fence and something that surrounds, hu b'keser shalman michachma, which is coming from the keser b'kayim chachma. Yeah, and but what we're saying here is really talking about Hashem, because the Chassidus is the medrash. We're going to connect to what it says in the medrash. This whole concept is talking about Achashverosh. And what we're talking about, this quietness, is a deeper level. This is really talking about Hashem. Well, I want to, we'll just finish it a little bit, and then we'll continue tomorrow. This Keser is coming from the light of Sefer Klam, that God is way above and beyond, which is totally above Sedish Tash. On that level, the Achrish, the end, in the beginning is all equal. It's all his. And meaning essentially what we're saying is a continuation of the same idea. The Rebbe is saying, we see in Achashverosh as well, that there's a level above a Sedish Tashlus, that the whole world doesn't really matter, and the beginning and the end is all God's, and on that level it doesn't really matter, which is the same part we were saying before. Haman was thinking that we get to a level that doesn't matter, and then all the mitzvahs that we do are irrelevant, and therefore he has a chance of destroying the Jewish people. And continuing in the next few days, we're going to discuss how he was not, why that didn't work. To be continued. Thank you everyone for joining.